What's going on, guys? So in my hand I have a very new indie niche coffee fragrance that has a delectable light gourmand touch to it, a little creamy, smooth, and sweet. It's actually very well composed, very stout, very strong, very potent opening that really smooths out as it settles. Turned out to be really lovely. We're talking about the newest from Meremeta Fragrances. This is Kahawa. So stay tuned. So before we jump off into it, the gentleman that owns, perfumes, and operates Meremeta Fragrances reached out to me, said I'd love to get your take on my newest fragrance and want to send it out to you. So I told him absolutely. Le Lava, my personal favorite from him, as well as they have Moha as well. Three turns out to be great fragrances thus far. So let's get into the scent and the performance and what I get from Kahawa. So immediately you're going to get hit with roasted coffee beans. As soon as you spray this one, it's you smell it out the atomizer. I have the dry down on my hand as well, which we'll get to. Trust me, the dry down's beautiful in this. But heavy dose of dried fruits and roasted coffee beans. And the dried fruits does offer a bit of a fruitiness, but it doesn't take away from the robustness of the coffee beans. It smells like ungrounded, just a pile of dark roast coffee beans. Like I don't know which specific blend to attribute, whether it's Arabica or Colombian or anything like that. I'm not a big coffee person, but I do love a good coffee note in a fragrance, and this is dark roast, very robust and thick. The patchouli here is a little on the chocolatey, slightly creamy side, but a little bit more of a chocolatey type of patchouli. There's vanilla, there's tonka bean that really adds that smooth creaminess as it starts to settle down. There's supposedly heliotrope in here. I don't get a heavy dose of heliotrope, so it's not a real big floral tone to it. I guess it's just a supportive note that's kind of in the background. Maybe it just doesn't come out on my skin. But it's all about the coffee and the dried fruits up top. Settles into this vanilla tonka bean patchouli combo. It's a little musky. There's oud here, but I never really picked the oud up. I was kind of surprised about that because I had already sprayed it before. The first time I sprayed it, I had already, started diving into the scent before I looked into the note breakdown. And when I saw oud, I was kind of surprised, and I started really looking for it, trying to deep dive into the scent profile a little bit more. And I've never discovered any oud with my nose. Maybe it's just such a low dose that it offers more of a supportive, warm, woody tone, because it is a relatively warming fragrance. Great for the cold weather. Obviously, this is a great cold weather scent. Nothing I would want to wear when it's hot outside. But I never pick up the oud. Like I said, maybe it's just adding a touch of that woodiness that I get because there's some vetiver here that offers a little bit of a woody tone. Maybe it's the combination. There's a little bit of a light powdery tone that could be from amber, that could be from tonka bean, could be from a number of things, but the creaminess here can be attributed to, I believe, the patchouli, the sandalwood, the vanilla, and the tonka bean. I think that combination makes this nice, sweet, smooth, lightly gourmand coffee tone. It smells like you start off with rich, robust coffee, and it kind of takes you on a journey where from having the coffee beans to the coffee and creamer with sugar is your dry down, basically. It's like a vanilla, not quite a vanilla latte, but there's a little hit of vanilla that kind of adds that, half and half creamer type of feel to the fragrance. It's definitely, it never veers away from being a coffee fragrance to me personally. So if you're a fan of coffee fragrances, you can get samples and or get discovery sets of the offerings of the house and try this one. This is a nice departure from the other two fragrances. The other one was basically lemon bars with leather, which is phenomenal. I still think that's Le Lava's it's a masterfully done fragrance. Moha I haven't worn in a very long time. It's not my favorite fragrance, but it's, I know a lot of people that do enjoy that one. And then this definitely jumps into number 2 behind Le Lava for me because it's a fantastic coffee fragrance. And I'm a short time away short time away from when I'm going to start pulling out coffee fragrances, because being out here in the mountains in Colorado, I get winter early and often. We're already transitioning into fall weather in the mid to late August realm. We're getting in the 60s and 70s every day this particular week. So I'm right around the corner to where I can enjoy coffee fragrances like this, because the scent on this one, it smells of quality, the blend is done just right, and it kind of takes you on a roasted coffee to creamy cup of coffee journey throughout the transitioning phases of the scent profile. So it's an eau de parfum concentration as far as performance. I'm not sure exact. That falls between 15 and 20%. Not sure if it's like 18 or 20, but I can tell you that I've been getting in the 8 to 10 hour range with all of the testing I've been doing, and it's kind of been falling almost spot on with around 9 hours every time. That's why I say the range kind of falls in the 8 to 10 hour realm. So plenty of staying power. Projection, very heavy in the first hour to hour and a half. Very heavy. If you spray this one heavy, it's a robust opening. It's a thick and robust opening because it's so heavy dark roast coffee. Might be a little much if you spray this one heavy. Moderation might be key with this one. This is one of those scent profiles that you should leave a little discoverability for, in my personal opinion. I mean, do what you want. You want to spray it 30 times, spray it 30 times. I'll never do that. That's too much for this scent profile. I think in the 5 to 7 range is the sweet spot. If you want to go a little bit heavier in that 8 to 10 spray range, I think you'll be fine. Just know that it's better that you're not in a close quarters type of setting if you're going to go 8, 10, and beyond as far as sprays. I myself find it to be fine in the 5 to 7 spray range because, like I said, the staying power is there, and the projection, a little bit beyond arm's reach, kind of falls into the average to slightly heavy side of things for about 2 hours, and then it settles into a nice solid moderate to mild sillage where it's not super strong, it's not an immensely powerful sillage, but it does have the ability to linger just a little bit, so there's opportunity for people to smell you when you walk by within a reasonable distance, within a few feet. You don't have to be right up on them, but far out reach, I personally can't see that having impact. I haven't had any experience with it having a long range impact, so that's why I say it kind of falls in the moderate to mild range, but it is a very nice trail overall because the dry down is so smooth, rich, creamy, and just beautiful. The dry down is just it's magnifique on this fragrance, and the performance, it fits the scent profile. Final thoughts on Kahawa from Meremeta Fragrances. So I didn't know what to expect. The opening was so rich and robust, and the dried fruits was so heavy. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this one. This might be a little bit of a miss. Because I love the coffee note, the way the blend is at the top, it was a little strange. I had to kind of acquire the taste for it, and then once it started settling into the dry down, started to fall for this one. The opening, like I said, it's in your face. It's harsh. It's not harsh is the wrong word. It's very stout. Stout is a great word for the opening. Strong as shit, for lack of a better term. And then as it settles into this beautiful, smooth, rich and creamy smell in the dry down, it gets fantastic. I think this stuff's very good. Bordering great, not quite great, but 7.5 out of 10, very good. It's a great rating in my scoring system, and because I think it's a great not quite a great fragrance, but very good. 7 and 7.5 falls into very good in my rating system, and this is definitely that. Worthy of a sample if you're looking for a little bit different coffee fragrance that doesn't veer off the path of other coffee fragrances. Like it doesn't come across as a coffee fragrance I've never smelled this style of before, but the way the blend was done and the way it transitions, that's the biggest thing for me that's, I think, special about this scent, is the way it transitions from what you get at the top to the deep dry down. It's what makes this very good. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Kahawa from Meremeta Fragrances, and until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried this already? I know I'm not the first one to get my hands on this. Curious if you've tried it. What do you think about it? Are you a fan? Is it one that's not really for you? Do you get phenomenal performance? Is it one of your new favorite fragrances in your collection, or is it just kind of meh for you? Or did you hear something here that made you think, you know what, you get a sample and try that? Love to hear it down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Kahawa from Meremeta Fragrances and you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.